Welcome back, watch fans. The Colonel's mailbox is blowing up. The punters are writing in. Apparently, the my video about independent watch collectors insulting the independent watch community. You know, those hype brands like FP Journe and MB&F and all those, you know, Day Bethune. Apparently, it struck a nerve, and one of the punters has written in. Very, very interesting. This guy's, listen, this is heavy hitters. Now this, he's sending me his collection here. We're going to be talking about independent. This guy's fallen for the independent hype. He's fallen for the independent hype. Now, his beaters, that's right, his beater collection, that's right, the shitters he uses to, you know, change the oil in his Bugatti is a Nautilus, rose gold Nautilus. I think he's got a GMT, a Pepsi Meteorite, white gold Meteorite. But those are the beater watches. Now, this guy, hopefully we're going to have him on a live stream to get into this world of independent brands. Again, you know, all kidding aside, I did tell you guys, I think these guys are doing a very important job. I think this is incredible stuff going on. But we need to, you know, it's a slippery kind of path. So we're going to be talking, hopefully, next couple days, we're going to be talking about his collection and giving you a complete insight into how to, you know, should you get into this market. Now, he's got a Greubel Forsey. Am I pronouncing that correctly? This is not for peasants. These are like heavy hitters, ultra heavy hitters. You know, this is all, you know, a couple $100 grand and up. This is not like Patek travel time. This is like a Timex. Compared to these. Now, again, we're going to get into this stuff. This punter, the whale, the ultra whale, he's got some big heavy hitters. And I think this is, he must have, let me see, 1, 2, he's got the Greubel Forsey, right? The Greubel Forsey. Another Greubel Forsey. These are tourbillons, right? The other one is a tourbillon. I think it's a double tourbillon of some sort. He's got, you know, some basic... you know, basic, MB&F, perpetual, I think it's a perpetual calendar, right? Now, look, these watches are great. I mean, you can't tell time. You don't know what time it is, but they look amazing on the wrist. No, seriously, there's some incredible stuff. We're going to learn about, he's got the Day Bethune. Now, here's the question. Is this a hype thing? To me, this looks like a Star Trek watch. Is this a grift from, you know, the Watchbox people? I don't know. We're gonna hopefully get this guy, get the punter, to talk about, you know, his philosophy. This is a serious collector. He's not, I mean, look, when you're buying these watches, you're not buying this to flex. Okay, the FP Journe. These are not flex watches. I mean, you got to be seriously into high horology, you know, I know FP Journe, obviously, but look, I think when this guy was buying it, FP Journe was not a hype brand. So you really need to be into it like on a serious level, because, you know, when you're paying 200 grand for a watch that looks basically like you know, like a toy, right? To the outside world, you know, you need the big balls. You need balls the size of atom bombs. Because, you know, basically you're buying it for, you know, you believe in it. It's for your own, you know, pleasure. There's obviously a methodology behind it, a philosophy, etc. Again, these are serious watches. So, but again, to write a check or, you know, swipe a card for or send a wire for a couple $100 grand, you know, for a watch. Because look, tradition. Look, let's admit it, guys. Most, you know, we buy watches. A lot of it is, you know, you want to be able to have a little bit of a flex. I'm not saying you got to walk around with a bust down, you know, Rolex, you know, with diamonds and all that. But, you know, like, you know, you want to have a watch that, you know, the average punter will be able to recognize, or the slightly above average punter, right? But when you got one of these, right, you could be walking down the street, you know, with a $400,000 watch. You know, you're at a party. Everybody's flexing their Nautilus, right? You get a bunch of these peasants. You know, the peasants are flexing their Nautilus and their Meteorite dial Rolex, and you know, you got one of these. They don't know what this is, right? So it's you gotta, you know, it's. I'm just keeping it real, right? So that's the kind of the reality, right? You know, we do need a little bit of that flex factor, but so this is kind of like, again, I made the comparison with the world of it's a little bit like contemporary art. When you buy one of these, it's like you're paying $1 million for, what is that, Richard Ryman, the conceptual, the guy who does the white paintings. It's $2 million for basically a piece of canvas that's white. Now, the average guy doesn't know what, thinks it's, $20 painting from, whatever. Your kid can do that. But no, that you can flip that for, $1 million or whatever, right? Again, this is kind of like, when you buy one of these watches, it's like that, I forgot the guy's name, Damien Hirst. That was the guy I was talking about in my last video. When you got in your living room, you got a $10 million house, and in your living room, you got a tank, you got a tank with a dead sheep in there, floating in formaldehyde, or a shark floating in formaldehyde, right? And you paid $10 million for that. I don't know, like most people won't understand that. They're gonna say, well, why would this guy pay $10 million to have a shark in formaldehyde floating in his living room, right? Now that's the average person, but somebody else would say, you know what? That's a smart bet. Maybe if you bought it for less than 10, maybe if you bought it for, 4 or something, and you can flip it for 6, right? I get that. So anyway, hopefully we'll have this punter on a live stream. Now, guys, get your questions ready, because if we get this the ultra whale in, we're gonna get some deep dive into the world of independent brands. Greubel Forsey, De Bethune, MB&F. Oh, he even has a basic Audemars Piguet. I don't even know what that is. I don't know what that is even. What else does he have? What is this? I don't even know what that is. I have no idea. Look, I'm just a basic guy. I'm a basic. The Colonel is a basic, meat and potatoes, Patek and Rolex and AP. So we're gonna get into this, Michelin. We're gonna move away from the world of the Olive Garden and Outback Steakhouse into something a little more interesting, and this is going to be great. Hopefully, a very good live stream. So get your questions ready. I want to ask this guy, okay, what kind of things? What do you consider before you buy one of these watches? Have you made any mistakes? What is? Why do you buy? Like, are you buying? Like, is it for upside? I don't think that he's buying it for the upside potential. I think he's buying. He loves the stuff, right? Tell us about your watch collecting journey. How did you get started? Did you start with a Timex? All the bullshit. We'll go through that real quick. But I want to get into this stuff, like what are some of the key things that this guy looks for in a watch? Because if you look at it, it's a very, very specific collection. If you look at this, you see this. The only outlier, the only thing here that doesn't make any sense, right? If you look at these watches, it's like, you see there's a certain thing. They're all very high tech. It's all very modern, of the age, right? Even the straps, these are, it's all, this is all very modern. This is like, again, this is a guy, it's almost like a guy who collects, contemporary art, living art. He's not buying, Matisse and Picasso. He's not doing the safe bets. He's basically making risky bets of, living with what you should be doing. This stuff is dated, okay? Let's face it. This is old man watch. This is, a 1972, which is nice. It's classic. It's sort of like, again, it's like your Monet, right? It's not your Damien Hirst. This is kind of like the Monet, and he's got like a bunch of Damien Hirst and what's the other guy? What the fuck? I can't remember the guys. The brothers who make the penis sculptures. The English brothers, those British artists. But yeah, so this is like, very cutting edge stuff, which is interesting, right? Most collectors, again, whether it's art, watches, cars, or whatever, people are very conservative by nature. They kind of like to stick to the past. Like this watch, nobody was buying this in the 70s, right? Nobody. It was dead money. It took them 10 years for them to even get any kind of traction. And all of a sudden, everybody wants it. All of a sudden today, everybody wants it. So same thing here, right? Like these watches, like people, like they don't understand it. But again, the problem is they're very limited production. So yeah, it's something where, it's not like these things are going begging, or maybe it was that way a while back. But yeah, these days, there is, it's not that easy to get one of these watches now, right? It's not that easy. So look at this. all sorts of crazy stuff going on there. Yeah, so we're going to get into this. It's going to be a very interesting discussion. I mean, look, this is an crazy perpetual calendar from MB&F, right? Now, would you, the average punter, if you ask him, would you, as a perpetual calendar, you get an MB&F, you get a Patek 3940, or AP perpetual calendar? I mean, I know I got the 3940, right? I'm a basic bitch, right? I'm doing a safe bet. This is, again, these things are, it's got to be like, it's not your first watch. To get to this, into this independent stuff, this is like maybe your 50th watch or something, because again, this is very interesting. So again, this channel only attracts the true aristocrats, right? This is not, no riffraff here. We're not doing riffraff Omega watches and basic Rolex here. We're doing, heavy hitters only. This channel is heavy hitters only. Heavy hitters only. I only want to deal with punters who have better watches than me. I don't want to deal with punters on the show who have, who are wearing, basic Patek like this. I want guys who are wearing like, I don't know what, something crazy. All right, guys, let me know what you think. Leave your vicious comments below. Get your questions ready for the independent watch collecting ultra, the super whale.